Wonder what goes through a mind of a parent who has a daughter with a disability. Stay tuned and find out. Here at Disability Awareness, we are trying to bridge the gap between people with disabilities and society. It is Lisa and Chris again, and we have a special guest, Tamara Weeks. She has a daughter who has cerebral palsy. Welcome, Tamara, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
I met her a few months ago, and she has a YouTube channel about her daughter, Micah. Tamara, can you tell our viewers what Micah is and how did she get it, please?
Micah has cerebral palsy. She was born with cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is caused by lack of oxygen to the brain. What I think happened to her that I figured out when she was several years old, actually, she's 27 now, I think she had 2 seizures while I was pregnant with her, and that would have maybe been caused by the umbilical cord getting crimped, lack of oxygen to her brain. It happened 2 different times. She has 2 assaults in her brain, one on the left, one on the right, so it kind of makes sense that that's what happened.
When I was born, my parents knew really little about cerebral palsy, and they had to learn everything by trials and errors, and talking to other parents and other people. What did you do to help Micah? Has the internet helped you? If yes, tell us how.
Well, there wasn't any internet back when Micah was born 27 years ago, so I didn't have the luxury or the pleasure of looking things up that way. It was all word of mouth, making a lot of phone calls, talking to a lot of people. I'm not sure how I started the process of figuring things out. I do know when she was 3 that we were able to get her into a preschool program, and I'm assuming that that's kind of what started the ball rolling. I got involved with a couple of parent support groups for a very short period of time, and I just searched and searched and searched. It was a long, long process of trying to figure out what I needed. There wasn't one place to go. It was just a little bit of all over the place.
As Micah was growing up, what did you notice that Micah would need for the rest of her life? I hear parents say that they are worried when they cannot help their child anymore. What would you tell them to do so they will be prepared?
So what I saw in the beginning, okay, this was my first baby. I felt like a baby having a baby, so I didn't really know anything about babies, just regular babies. And then we had a baby that wasn't a regular baby, so I really was totally lost all the way around when Micah was born. I just saw that it was going to be a long process of working with Micah, trying to figure out what kind of therapy she needed. She needed speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. And so it was just a process for a long, long time, just trying to figure out what kind of services were available to help Micah, and then figure out what services didn't Micah need. I didn't even know she needed therapy in the very beginning.
I see that Micah has brothers and sisters. As Micah was growing up, how would you involve them in Micah's life? Do you think they will always help Micah? When did you teach them that they have to help her if you taught them?
Micah is the oldest of 6, so she's 27, has a sister 25, a brother 22, 18, 16, and 13. So since they were very little, they have always been involved in helping Micah. I can remember when they were like 3 and 4 years old doing the tie downs. We had a customized van with a wheelchair lift, and the little bitty guys would have to get in there and tie the wheelchair down so that it wouldn't move around and it would be safe for Micah to ride in the van. As they've gotten older, they do more and more things. One of them will get her up to the table to eat. Somebody else gets her food. Somebody gets her away from the table. Somebody cleans up the table where she ate. Somebody takes her out to the van. Somebody opens the van up. So they all have these little routine things that they do to help Micah. And they have assured me that as Micah grows older and we grow older as parents or something happens to us, that they will make sure Micah is taken care of.
Do you feel she'll always live with you, or this is Lisa, or do you think she'll be in a living facility or something like that?
That is a great question, and one that I looked at for a long, long time. So when she was in high school, they have a transition program after you graduate from high school. There's 2 years more of a program that kind of transitions them from high school into a work facility.
Right.
So people had asked me this a lot. Well, where do you think Micah's going to go? You know, she's going to move out. And then they would talk to me about, you know, Micah's going to want her independence and she's going to want to feel like, you know, she's an adult and can live life on her own.
Right.
So I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And, you know, we just kind of went along, but it was in the back of my mind. We were on a waiting list to get into a facility. It was supposed to take like 5 or 6 years. It was supposed to take a really long, long time. Well, she ended up getting accepted early into this home, and I don't remember when it was. It was a few years ago, into a facility. And when the time came for that opportunity to move her out, I realized then that Micah is very happy here. She loves being at home. We have CNAs, certified nursing assistants, that come in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. And she has a program she goes to during the day. Micah is like the happiest girl on the whole planet, and she's happy being here. So I don't think that there will be a time when she will want to move out. But if that time ever comes, then we have a lot of facilities in our area, and we will make sure that that she gets into a facility and that she's taken care of.
Okay, great. Does it put stress on the marriage? Did it?
Okay, let's see. I would answer that question and say that any children in a family cause stress on the marriage, because raising kids is like the hardest thing that you will ever do. It's harder to raise children than it is to stay married. So I would say yes. Now, asking specifically about Micah and did Micah cause extra stress, I would say yes, only because it's just constant. Like when you have little kids, you know, they're little and they go through the regular developmental things that you expect to see, and they crawl, they walk, they go to school, and they become very independent, and then eventually they move out and they live life on their own. Well, with Micah, it's kind of like being you go so far and no more. You know, she's 27 now. Her speech, though, has increased over the last year, almost 2 years now. Her speech has increased, which has been really, really big. So that's been pretty exciting.
That's pretty amazing.
But as far as trying to answer your question about stress on the marriage, I would say more so in the beginning, because for 6 months, day and night, Micah just screamed day and night, and so that was really, really hard. But that would have been with just a regular baby doing that. So I would say yes, it's been more stress, but a lot of the stress has been the same that you would find with a regular baby or a regular child. Right. And we call our other children. We have 6, and we call our other children the regular kids. So there's Micah, and then we have the regular kids. So I use the word regular.
Was it hard for the children to accept their sister?
I don't think so, because they've never known any different. Micah was the firstborn, so when all the other children were born, Micah was already here.
Right.
And so they just don't know anything any different. She's just always been here.
Did they have any jealousy, though? That's my basic question.
Now, that's a very good question. I don't think they have any jealousy, because I don't feel like we spoil Micah. I mean, there are certain things, you know, because she's Micah, maybe she's spoiled, but if she starts screaming, she goes to her room, or she has to go sit outside. If she knocks her dishes off the table, okay, then obviously you don't want to eat. You know, we take her away from the table. So we we discipline her, and we always have when it comes to those what do you call those anyway, you know what I'm saying.
We understand. So, is there any specific goals that you have for Micah?
Okay, let's see. That's a good question. Any specific goals?
Right.
She's in a day program, and as long as she can be in a day program and be around people, it would be my goal to always allow her to go outside of the home and be with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be my goal.
Right. So, did you have one more question? I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Did you ever have pain when you realized that your daughter was always gonna be disabled? Like, did you ever have the expectation that I was gonna have a normal child and I'm not gonna have a normal child now?
That's also a very good question too, and that makes total sense. I would say no, only because I'd never been around little kids, and I just really had no expectations. I think I was a little bit overwhelmed with even the idea of having a Micah or having a regular kid. So, as far as the expectations in the very beginning, then as she grew,
Mm-hmm.
the hardest thing for me, Micah's always been so happy that I've never felt sorry for Micah because of how she is. Micah is happy the way she is. Now, does she wish that she could do other things? Yeah, because I'll ask her sometimes. I'll sit by her on the bed and I'll say, Micah, do you wish that you could get up and run around like your brothers and sisters? And she'll shake her head, yeah. But I'll say, are you happy like you are, though? And she'll say, yeah. So because I know that Micah is really, really happy, that just means so much to me.
Right.
And to let's see, hang on, there was another part to your question. Expectation. Oh, I was going to say that for years, for probably 12 years of Micah's life, the first 12 years, I cried rivers and rivers and rivers and rivers of tears that were so, so deep that I could not even touch them. They were just so deep. But that's because it was just so hard to take care of her. She did a lot of screaming. I didn't know why she was screaming. I could not help her screaming. And it was just the constant, everyday, tedious work that had to be done with feeding her and caring for her and getting her, in and out of her wheelchair, or just the daily task of taking care of her was very physically and emotionally taxing on me. So I would say that was the hardest part for me.
Okay. One more question. What would you tell our audience if they're about to embark in a disability, a child with a disability? How would you tell them to handle it, or how would you tell them to deal with it?
I would tell them, number one, I would tell them to pray, because I pray.
Yeah.
I would look for as many resources as you can. I now have a new viewer on my YouTube channel that is a parent of a special needs child that has cerebral palsy.
Right.
She had the internet access, so she has found channels that have children with cerebral palsy, and she's learning from them, and she's making friendships with them, and that is really cool. So we have so many resources that I did not have. So I would say, look for stuff on YouTube, look for stuff in the internet, and talk everywhere you go. Talk to people, because everybody knows somebody. They know somebody in their family. They know a friend. They've heard of somebody. Everybody is a resource to you. So use all your resources, and don't feel like you are all by yourself trying to figure it out, because there are so many people that want to help you to make your life better and to make your child's life better.
Thank you so much for your time and effort to do this. I hope you have really enjoyed our time, and we've enjoyed yours.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. It's been so nice to meet you.
This video with us. We surely learned a lot from you. If you want to see what her channel is about, I have the link in the description below. We are Disability Awareness, and we try to give useful information to people with disabilities and educate society in general about disability as a whole. If you like this video and aren't a subscriber, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends. If you have a question for us, please leave it in the comments below this video. Here at Disability Awareness, we do 2 videos per week on Tuesday and 1 on Friday. So we will see you on Tuesday. It's Lisa and Chris signing off.